guys. This pertains to Pontiacs and Pontiac header installation. I got a few little tricks. I want you guys to look. You see this second tube right back here? This tube here, you see how it cuts up in there? It's impossible, almost, it is for me, to get a header bolt or anything in there. So I use an array of different bolts, not just header bolts doing this. And with a Pontiac, you got a little bit of a leg up. You know, if you look, you can see the Pontiacs are tapped all the way through for the header bolts or exhaust bolts. So what I do back here on this one right here is I drop a 5/16 bolt down through the top and put a nut on the bottom. I'll show you what I got right over here. Here's an array of bolts that I use. I rarely use very many header bolts. You know, I find that these 9/16, 3/8, 9/16 headed bolts work great, man. You can get a lot of torque on them. It takes you a while to tighten them up though, because you know the way the wrenches are, but then you got to modify your wrenches. But right here's one. See this one right here? That's a 5/16 bolt, and that's what I use on that center back tube. I drop it down through there, and you can hold the nut with your finger and get the bolt started, and then once you get the bolt started, the header will hold the nut itself, and you can tighten the top. But then what you got to do on your wrenches, let me see, where's my camera? Right there. If you look at that wrench, you see how the teeth are cut? Where they're like beveled back, that messes you up. So what I do is I take a wrench and I grind it down to get rid of that bevel. I'm sorry, that thing won't, there it goes. But see how that is right there? I grind that bevel off, and then your wrench will bite a lot better on the top of that bolt back there. Or you could use a bolt similar to this one with the taller heads, because you got room for the spark plug, but these are all I have right now. So next time I may pick me out some bolts, let's see if I can find some with a little bit taller head on them so there's more to bite to. But that little trick is going to save you a bunch working on Pontiacs, man, because those back tubes on the center ports, and these are round port heads, so they're a beast. And but I got these Rimflex header gaskets right here. These are supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread. This is the first time I've used these. The last set I used were these over here, and they're old. I was going to reuse this one, but they're carbon, supposed to be up to 2,000. I never had trouble with them. This one here is just old. You can see the carbon's coming off of it. But they sealed up good. I haven't seen them. I bought these at NAPA many years ago. And but they seem to work pretty good. But the trick is getting them tight. You know, you tighten down the center and work your way out just like anything else. And go back and forth 3 or 4 times doing it. Because once you tighten up a set of bolts, then the other ones will be loose. Like you tighten up the centers and do the outside, go back to your centers and retighten them again. Do it 3 or 4 times. Make sure you get them good and tight. It says 20 pounds, 20 foot-pounds, but I got no way to measure that, so I just tighten them until I can't tighten them no more. Show you another little trick. When you work by yourself, you have to improvise, adapt, overcome. Right there, see that box holding up the back of my header? There you go. Little things like that matter, you know, when you're doing this stuff. When you do it by yourself, you ain't got nobody to hold the back of the header up. But if you can do that, then that saves you a ton right there, because it holds the header almost exactly where it goes. And you know, it's hard to get header gaskets on these Pontiacs, man. They ain't no joke, because the heads are laid down, the exhaust ports are laid down, and you got to get up underneath them. But as far as the 3/8 bolts go, with the 9/16 heads on them, I don't have any trouble using them. I love them. I use them little short ones, man, and they tighten up. I mean, you can get a ton of torque on them. So, but anyway, that's just a few little tricks for doing the headers on a Pontiac. That's the driver's side. I'm getting ready to start the passenger side now, which you can see It's going to be more of a beast with all that air conditioning stuff in the road, but she wants air conditioning, so it's got to stay on there. And I want it to. I mean, I may drive this car a little bit. I probably will, but it's mainly going to be for her. So anyway, that's just a couple little tips on wrenches, and you can see I got an array of wrenches here too. You know, you got it. And here's another little special wrench I made to tighten up the header bolts. You know, that little dude works good too. And then these long ones, you got to have you a set of long wrenches, and they help a lot too. There's certain times that you need them. But anyway, that's just a few tips that pertain to Pontiac headers and what I found worked. I've been working on them forever, and you know, little things matter, man. So anyway, all right.